Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Myself is Abu Darda Md, Arif Billah, Principal, Islamabad Collegiate School, Khulna. I would like to welcome you all to our online classroom activities. Today I will discuss elementary science for class 5 of English version students. From elementary science, I will discuss chapter 9, that is page number 62 to 67. So I will ask all the students to open their book. It will be helpful to listen to the lecture, and I will finish this chapter in 2 lectures. Today, lecture 1 of chapter 9, technology in our life. And reference book is elementary science book of National Curriculum and Textbook Board, Bangladesh. And technology in our life is the chapter and objectives. At the end of the lesson, we will be able to say what science is, what technology is, difference and relationship between science and technology, use of technology in agriculture, and negative effects or negative aspects of technology. And we are actually studying by using technologies such as books, pen, table, electric bulb, clock, etc. Let's look at the picture. In the picture we can see, find out the technologies here. An attentive listener, reader is reading a book, and we can also see a reading room furnished with some equipments. Here is a clock, here is a table clock, there is a globe, this is a global map, this is a globe, and books are arranged here. On the table we can see a table lamp, here some pens, pencils, etc., and computer. All are technologies of science. So today we will discuss science and technology. And in activity, it is also mentioned in our textbook in 62 page, use of science and technology. What to do? Make a table like the one shown below. You see in the book, situation, transportation, technology is car, and science of knowledge is heat. That means from heat, car is invented, and it has made transportation, it has made life easy. In this manner we will discuss technology and science. And first of all, we will also learn relationship between technology and science, and also difference between technology and science. In the chapter 9, let's look at the picture that I mentioned earlier. In these pictures, the repetition of the earlier pages, I mentioned books, pen, phones, handset, table, electric bulb, clock. All these technologies are invented using the scientific knowledge. So by using scientific knowledge, scientists have invented technologies, what we use, what we need in our day-to-day life. And to know, we will learn difference between science and technology. Before knowing that, we must know what science is and what technology is. If we can differentiate, if we can say what technology is and what science is, we can then easily say what is the difference, basic difference of technology and science, or what are the relationship between science and technology. So let's start. First of all, we'll know what science is. Science is the knowledge of study about the natural world. I repeat, science is the knowledge of study, knowledge or study about the natural world. In our natural world, many things is happening, many things is happened. We are doing many things. We are observing many things which are naturally done. So, science is the knowledge of that. It is based on the facts learned through observation and experimentation to describe and explain natural phenomena. Dear students, we observe many things automatically done in this nature, and scientists do this job. They notice some happenings and they realize, they raise some questions how this is happening, and they try to find out the answers of that questions, and they to make sure they start experiment. When they find the result of the experiment, that is called scientific knowledge, and then they share it. These steps are called scientific methods. So we have come to the summary that science is the knowledge or study about the natural world. It is based on observation and experiment. Scientists investigate and answer questions about the world around us. I think I have made it easy. This is the summary. In 3 sentences, I have summarized the chapter about science. I repeat, science is the knowledge or study about the natural world. It is based, that means science is based on observation and experiment. Observation of people, observation of scientists, observation of the learned person. It is based on that observation. And finally, scientists or people investigate and answer questions. That means they try to answer their questions. They gather their information about the world around us. So, scientific method has some steps. There are 6 steps of scientific method. 6 steps are mentioned here, and the students, you can see the 6 steps. Step 1. Step 1 is observation. This is mentioned here, observation. And what is observation? Notice and happening. Notice, we can notice any happening, we can notice any, we can have any interest, we can find interest in anything about what is happening in the world. For example, when a person sees an apple is falling on the ground from the tree, that apple has fallen from upwards to downwards. It was noticed by Thomas Alva Edison, and he tried to make the science, find out the science, why this apple has fallen from tree to the ground, from upwards to the downwards. That is observation. So we notice any happening and find interest in anything. Then second step is questions. What question is? Questions about happening and observation. A lot of gatherings, lot of findings, lot of queries gather in the mind of that person who has observed. So next step to observation is question. And out of that questions, the people, that scientist or that people try to find answer, that is called hypothesis. So answer the questions and gauge the information, this is called hypothesis. And finally experiment, then experiment. After hypothesis, basing on those answers, the scientist made a experiment. What is experiment? That is to justify or test the answer or collect data or result. So they try to find out a result, that is called experiment. And finally they have got a result, that is called conclusion. Conclusion is analyzing data and make a summary. And finally sharing the result, the scientist pass the message to everybody, that is called sharing. So I will summarize it. The 6 steps are: first one, observation, then question, then hypothesis. A hypothesis means answer, then experiment or test, then conclusion and sharing. So these are the steps and description. In the book it is also mentioned very clearly, and I also would like to mention in observation. In the book you can see that observation is by observing the world around you, you can notice the things happen or the phenomena, or you may have a particular topic of interest. Question. What is question? The description of question is when we saw, heard or read something, we might have questions about that. Choose a question that can be answered by making observation or experiment. Then hypothesis. What the hypothesis is? By using previous knowledge, make a guess that answer your question. Write it down, write it the answer. This is your hypothesis. And what is experiment? Design a test to justify it, to justify if the hypothesis is true or not. List the materials you will need. Write to test you may need some materials, so you should list the materials. This is part of experiment. And write the steps you will follow. That means by step you will have to test your hypothesis. Collect data and record the results to your experiments. This is the system of experiments. And conclusion, analyze the data you collected and summarize your results. Think about your result that either support you, that means your hypothesis, or not. This is conclusion. And after, when you will come to the conclusion, report your results and share it to other people. These are the scientific method, that means steps of scientific methods. And so we will have to know every scientific method, and this will help. I would like to give an example. That is, a scientist observed that wind or air helps us a lot. We know air is powerful. This is his observation. And what is question? He thinks if it has weight or not. This is his questions. Whether this air has weight or not. This is his question. And what about hypothesis? He then makes many comments about its weight, whether it has or it does not have. He gathers many answers in his mind. That means he gathers many data, and this is called hypothesis. And fourth step is experiment. he takes a balance and put two balloons full of air. In the picture you can see full of air, two balloons have been taken. They were full of air, both of them. When one balloon becomes free from air, that means with use a pin, one balloon is made free of air. Air is pushed out, and then another part of the balloon shows its weight. It goes down. That means it has weight. So the finding, that means the conclusion is that air or wind has weight. And finally, when you have got the message that air has weight, this is science. This is the science, and this message, this scientific knowledge, this scientific method, these scientific findings should be passed to other people. So this message is shared with others. And what about technology? Technology, we like to let's see some pictures are here. I'd like to draw the attention of the students. What are here? So many cars are here. There are computer with its parts. This is a telescope, space telescope. This is an AC air cooler, and this is a tractor. These all are actually technology. So what technology is, we should know. Technology is the practical application of science to solve the problems of our life. So technology is used to solve our problems, we can say that. For example, electricity is science, and invention of computer, AC, TV, etc. is technology. That means using the electricity, scientists have invented, or people have invented computer, AC, etc. This is technology. So what is the difference between science and technology? Science is the knowledge of natural world, and by using science, technology is invented basing on our requirement. Let's go to the next slide. In the next slide, we can see that relationship between science and technology. Science and technology are closely related to each other. Both are important in our life. Using knowledge of science, technology is invented. In the past, when people had knowledge of light and electricity, they made stone or metal tools, fire, clothing, and wheels. You can see these are the stone made weapons and metal made weapons or tools which are essential and used in our day-to-day life. In the past, these weapons were used frequently. In the course of time, science have developed, and in the course of time, every tools also have been changed. So actually, in the past, science and technology did not have a deep relationship. Scientists have studied the natural world to explain natural phenomena without a purpose of solving practical problems. They have discovered scientific knowledge such as electricity and light. On the other hand, people have invented technologies to solve practical problems for improving their life. They have invented simple technologies such as stone tools, fire, clothing, metal tools, and wheels. But in the course of time, I mentioned that everything has been changed. The 18th century was period of great industrial revolution. That means on that period a revolutionary change has been taken place in case of industry, particularly in the field of agriculture, manufacturing and transportation. People invented steam engine by applying scientific knowledge of steam power. That means steam power was the science. Knowledge of steam power was science, and by using that power people have invented water steam engine. And with the use of steam engine, earlier trains, buses, trains and steamers ran. So steam engine was used for factories also, and trains and ships. So steam engine is invented by that knowledge. The knowledge is science. So this is the relationship between science and technology. I repeat, knowledge of steam power is science. So science and technology are related to each other. Without science, technology cannot be done. That means with the knowledge of science, technology is performed. That means when people can know, scientists can know that heat is a science. Knowledge of science is heat. By using heat, people are making many things. Using heat, energy is produced and many things is produced. And so in the picture, two steam engines we can see in the picture, and these are the smoke run out from the steam engine. That means steam is water. Water is boiled and smoke is running out, and power is produced. With that power is joined with wheel, and wheel runs, and vehicle is running. So steam engine was invented earlier in the 17th century by Alexandria, and steam engine it is very much important. In the picture we can see some important thing people are known to these. This is in the right side, the upper corner, you can see a microscope. So we use microscope to investigate the smallest thing which we cannot see in naked eye. Very smallest thing what we cannot see with eye, but with the use of microscope we can not only see, we can investigate, see very clearly each and every particle, the smallest or more than the smallest thing which we cannot see in normally in our eyes. So use of microscope is also a technology. So, and this is also this has come from reflection. Reflection is the science. Power is reflected, and in the presence of light, in the dark room it is not possible. So light is also science. Light and reflection is the science, and technology is the microscope. So I think student can easily make a relationship between these two, technology and another thing. In the we can see three pictures. All are about space telescope. Telescope is used to see objects far into space, and in the space from the ground we can see the stars in the sky or in the far space we can see, and scientists, NASA scientists and other aeronautic scientists are using a telescope regularly, and they are advancing science. So technology is also advancement of science. So I will finish the lecture here, and in the last lecture I will conclude. Before finishing, very small homework I would like to give to our students. You will think over what things we use, what are the scientific achievement we use. That means what technologies are used in our day-to-day life, and what do they come from. That means, for example, television is a technology. It has come from electricity. That means basing on the electricity, television is created. Like that, steam power is the science and steam engine is the technology. Telescope is a technology from which it has come. Fire is a technology from which it has come. That means tractor is a technology. And what technologies we notice in our day-to-day life. This is the homework of our students. You will find out in my next lecture. I will discuss these questions and conclude the next one. Before conclusion, I would like to ask you to try to enjoy the class, try to read the book, and in our Facebook page, students are also asked to make comments. If you have any question, please write in the comment box. I will try to answer the questions. I will try to satisfy you. So that's all for today. We will finish the chapter in next class, in lecture 2 of chapter 9 of elementary science. So in the next lecture we will learn use of technology in agriculture and negative effects of technology. That's all for today. May Allah help us. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.